Welcome back to the shooting channel, and welcome back to this week's film. You've seen my Kofs review, the new 3-barreled gun. On this film I am going to do a review of the Kofs versus the Akkar. Now the Akkar 3-barrel gun, it was a Turkish manufacturer, and they were one of the first Turkish 3-barrel guns to come into the UK market. They did sell, and they were imported for probably 5 to 6 years. But the difference between the Akkar one is the Akkar one was £1,500 to £1,700 retail. And the Kofs one was, depending which one you go for, was £650 to £850. And I think I've got the Akkar in my hand, and I've got the Kofs in my hand. Now, looking at them, they're both 3-barrel guns, they're both wood stocks, but I will go through and I will just show you the difference between them, and then I will shoot each one and I'll talk to you each one. So this is the Akkar one, and this particular gun is about 10 to 15 years old. Starting from the back to the front, it has a proper Inflex recoil pad. It's got a gold trigger, movable trigger, rounded action, multi-choke, little bit more a better grade of wood on the Akkar than on the Kofs. This weighs about just under 9 pounds. Now this particular one, when I mount this up, the first thing I think about is, yes, it's heavy, and it's quite barrel heavy. Now you've got to bear in mind is the reason why these 3-barrel guns came out is to almost compete with semi-autos, because they were about shooting wildfowl, geese, ducks, things like that on the foreshore. So the plus side about the Akkar one is because it was really heavy, you can shoot 36-gram 2s through it and it doesn't kick. So that's the plus side on this one. I'm going to be honest, that was what they were designed for, but actually what these sold for is for fun and on the shooting schools, and people just say, I've got a 3-barrel gun, this is what it is. But as a fun gun, I have to say I do think the Akkar was a little bit too expensive. £1,500 to £1,700 for what I would call a fun gun, I thought was too expensive. Yes, it was a fantastic gun, good quality gun, you couldn't knock the quality of it, but actually, can you justify spending £1,500 to £1,700 on a toy, a fun gun? Whereas the Kofs one, this particular one, obviously the review I did on one was the engraved one. This is the slightly cheaper one. So this one starts at about £650, £700. And if you look back, the biggest thing I find is they are lighter. This particular one is about £7.5, £8. If you go back from the back to the front, the recoil pad is a very traditional recoil pad. Doesn't really go into the stock, just goes across the back of the stock. Single trigger, very black, very plain wood. Pistol grip, a little bit smaller than the Akkar. Ventilated barrels, whereas the Akkar had non-ventilated barrels. Ventilated ribs, multi-choke. But the first thing I would say is I would put it up, and I can handle this slightly better because it is slightly lighter. So if I was shooting it on the foreshore, I could move it about off the clays a little bit better. But if you were going to put 32-gram 2s or 3s through it, potentially the Akkar would probably handle it and be softer on your shoulder with the heavier cartridges. Quality wise, very similar, great quality gun, but where Kofs have got it absolutely spot on is they've got the price point. So if you're looking for a cheap, inexpensive, 3-barreled fun to take out to the local playground with your mates and have a bit of fun, I'm going to be honest, this is where Kofs win. And I think, yes, we all know what they were designed for, but I think this is going to win because I think people look at it more on the fun side than on the serious foreshore shooting duck, shooting geese side. So that is really the two differences, and you can see just looking at it. So if I put them there, you can see that the Akkar's got a slightly better recoil pad, but there's nothing wrong with that one. That's just probably slightly better, goes into the stock a bit more. The woodwork slightly better. This is plainer. The trigger gold, black. This is slightly bigger. I wouldn't call it a box lock. It still is a box lock. I wouldn't call it a sight, but it goes all the way along. This is more of a box lock, and finished off slightly better. And then for the top, this is ventilated barrels and ribs. This is just ventilated ribs. But again, comment below. Can you justify spending £1,500 to £1,700 on the Akkar, or can you justify if you just looked for a fun gun? Can you say I'm going to spend 650, 700 quid on the Kofs one? I mean, I know what I would do. I'd go and buy the Kofs straight away, because for financial reasons, a lot of people in today's world, a lot of people look at stuff of experience, having a bit of fun, enjoying it, and they tend to look at the pounds a lot more now than when they did 20 years ago. So comment below. Do you think what I say? I think they're both very, very good guns. The quality of them are really, really good. This one's slightly lighter, this one's slightly heavier. I think on the playground this one will perform a lot better. This one tends to be a bit heavier. But I think this one costs half the money. This one costs another half of the money. So this one is £1,500 to £1,700. This one's £650, £700. So comment below. If you're looking for a fun gun, which one would you go for? Would you go for the Kofs, either the bog standard one or the deluxe one, or would you go for the Akkar? Comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on which one you would go for. And do you think what I've said about them, do you think it's absolutely right? Do you think I've got a point with the price point? Because I have to say, I think Kofs have got it absolutely spot on. 3-barrel gun, bit of fun for half the money. So let's have a shoot and let's see what they shoot like. So I'm just going to shoot a little in cover with all three of them and just see what they shoot like. I'm going to shoot a couple of quadruples, I'm going to shoot a couple of triples with each one, and then we will sit and talk about them.
David, I'm getting those ones. Are you doing the green ones?
No, I was just going to start with this. So to answer your question, this barrel goes first, then this one, then the top. So there's a lot of people say which barrel fires first. It's the right hand barrel that fires first. and that is the Kofs one. So again, the first thing I would say about the Kofs is, yes, they built it with nice height in the comb. It's not too heavy to move about. So if you're looking for a fun gun to go clay shooting with, again, it's not too, it balances really well, and it's not stupidly heavy. Now I'm going to shoot the Akkar. So, and that was the Akkar, and I'm going to be honest, I would say shooting wise, they shoot very, very similar. I would say I'm exactly right with what I was saying beforehand. The weight, the barrel, it's quite barrel heavy compared to the Kofs. The Kofs have got the weight back here, whereas the Akkar, the barrel is more weighty here. So for clays, I would say that is probably not the best thing that I would want from the Akkar. Possibly for rough shooting or for goose shooting or duck shooting on the foreshore, probably better if you're going to shoot really heavy cartridges. But I'm going to be honest, from my point of view, if I was looking for a fun gun to spend, and I only had 650, 700 pounds to spend, then I would pick the Kofs purely on affordability than I would spend £1,500 on the Akkar. So comment below, which would you pick? Would you pick the Kofs 3-barreled gun or the Akkar 3-barrel gun? I hope you've enjoyed this programme. Please comment below on anything you've seen on this programme. If you do need anything in the US, please visit our partner, Fred Baker Sporting. Please like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. It really helps us give you content like this. And I hope to see you on the next one. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.